You're all welcome back in our plenary. This is the final moment of our long day, but very intense and active, with a lot of discussions. And thank you all for your inputs already. As you know, we have organized the program in a way that you could follow as much possibly the content that was of interest for you, but still we believe it would be useful for everyone to have a bit of a moment to wrap up about the key points that have been highlighted during the previous presentations. So, in the first plenary session, the focus was very much on how to prepare the financial part of a project concept. And I leave the floor to my friend and colleague George for sharing with you the key takeaway messages from the discussion. Please, George.
Thank you, Luigi, and thank you all. So we had a session where we discussed the bankability of projects based on two main presentations. One as an overall framework, that is the Smart City Guidance Package, that helps cities and consortiums led by cities, for instance, on how to develop a good strategy and how to plan the projects that they intend to plan on the ground. And then we move it for a second presentation where we had a discussion about the bankability from the point of view of the investor. So, what is the financial points and other points that investors like to see as the risk analysis, etc. So, what investors are looking for when they look for a project. And so we had a discussion around it from Bankers Without Boundaries. But what I would like to highlight here is that our session, it was a 1 hour session. It was a kind of teaser about what we do in our smart cities financial masterclasses. So we provide these masterclasses for free. People can register on the masterclasses. Just need to look in our website and you'll find the information. The masterclasses is 1.5, 2 days event where on the first day we have project developers and investors coming together, presenting the requirements, the, good examples, etc. And on the second day, hands on the job, but also based on the feedback of the first day. So we will adapt always the second day because this master class, it's not something that is theoretical. It's something that is very hands on the job, and it's designed for the people that are attending. So I would like to invite you all. The first session, just to make sure, let me look here, is on the 20th of April, and the second session on the 9th of May. So those are the dates for the next edition of the masterclass. And that was, to sum up, what was discussed in the a kind of sneak peek of the masterclass was delivered during this session, these two sessions. Thank you.
Thank you so much, George. So book your agenda for the 28th of April and the 9th of May. More information to follow on the website. We are preparing everything we can to keep you busy, happy, motivated, and engaged throughout the year, as you will see. So this is not an event. This is the beginning of a journey. And this leads me to introduce you to our next colleague and panel moderator, Grace Lai from ICLEI, and she will tell us the key takeaways of the second parallel session on accelerating city business cooperation through public procurement, which, as you know, is also another important challenge that needs to be addressed. Please, Grace, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Luigi. As Luigi mentioned, our session focused on accelerating city business cooperation through public procurement. We heard insights from expert city representatives and market actors and learned more about the different ways cities and businesses can stimulate urban infrastructure transformations through collaboration. Some of the main takeaways included that market engagements has benefits for both cities and for businesses. For example, cities are able to learn more about the state-of-the-art solutions as well as gain insights from actual technical experts, while businesses are able to build and improve their products based on the demand and on the direct feedback they receive. We heard that it was important to align innovative procurements with city planning and to be clear with suppliers about what solution is being sought. Smart and sustainable procurements often flourish in innovative startup climates. And finally, the procurement of solutions we heard is not just of the technical project, but also of the data. And so it was stressed that we should be keep in mind the importance about being smart about data management schemes. And this is all to say also that we will have a booklet coming out on procurement soon. And so keep a lookout for that as well. Thanks.
Also, that one is going to be on the website. So again, thank you very much, Grace. It is also important to mention that the Smart Cities Marketplace provides for free, by the way, localized one-to-one consultancy services, also with regards to procurement. So the legal aspects, the legal gaps that you may have that are hindering your transition, if you submit an application through our call that is online on the website, then we can enter into discussions with you and see how to best address your issues. Then the third session was moderated by myself, so I will drive you through what was discussed mainly. The focus was on clean energy, and notably on inspiring projects and approaches for cities in transition. Since the transition is a dynamic concept, we spoke very much about waves. This mainly because one of the key projects that were presented was from the place in Portugal where you have among the biggest waves in the world. And so we found it very inspiring to see how in such a place, with 12 municipalities managed to align their thinking and planning and actions, which is very much what the marketplace would like to achieve as well, to facilitate and help you achieve, to deliver, because it has already been completed, one of the biggest streetlight projects in the world. And it is, I think, the second in Europe currently. This was a nice journey, difficult, especially because indeed the municipalities involved needed to solve issues with regards to the concession, but also to the feasibility studies. The financing was an interesting bundling of public and private that the marketplace can help you implement and integrate into your project concepts. Ultimately, the results for the municipalities involved were very concrete and impressive in terms of savings, with an average of savings above the average of comparable projects, about 58% through an ESCO model, with about 4 million euros per year saved as well. So for a municipality, 12 municipalities, it was quite an important figure. And the savings in terms of, to give you a parameter, number of households served was of 7,500. All the project was achieved, the implementation part, in only 6 months, just to show you that if there is determination and there is already a blueprint available to implement, such examples can be replicated in an easy way. And the Smart Cities Marketplace is a good place where to find inspiration and also transferable blueprints. The second project, always talking about waves, was from Sweden, and it was implemented by an initiative called Viable Cities. They started with 9 pilots implemented in large and small and medium-sized cities in Sweden. And after only a few years, basically 3, they achieved a number of 23 cities involved. What did they do? Basically, they set up some technical teams, some transition teams, as they call them, where the commitment was to have not only the representatives from the public administration, but also from the academic world, the research world, and the private sector. This based on the assumption and probably experience that more or less 25% of the budget available to the transition projects could come from the public sector, but the rest should come from elsewhere. Hence the need to have a large participation from private partners. They worked and developed also an interesting concept of the climate city contracts for 2030, with an ambition to reach increasingly the targets up to 2030 for making these cities climate neutral. It is a system that is working, an approach that is inspiring, and it is very much in line from what I've heard with what also in the Covenant of Mayors they are doing, and in the net zero mission they are trying to do with the climate city contracts. Georg, this is like a ball that I throw up to you for the closing. And then there was also a very interesting project on in Spain on hydrogen, the project Green Island. They also implemented a series of applications for mobility, but also stationary applications for having integrated systems. So an Horizon ecosystem already in the island of Mallorca, with all the steps codified, demonstrators available, an idea to have some scalability also there, a full cost of 50 million euros, which is in line for this kind of investments. Again, another very interesting example to learn from. These, I think, are the key takeaways from the parallel session number 3. And then, before I rest, I leave the floor to my friend and colleague Rafael from EIT Urban Mobility for telling you more about what was discussed in the parallel session number 4 on mobility. Please, Rafael. You're muted, Rafael.
Can you hear me now?
Now we can. I like this suspense.
This technology is, I mean, so thank you very much, Luigi. It was a pleasure to present mobility solutions that have such potential to cooperate with cities and regions. So we held two sessions, one in the morning and one in the afternoon, and we have presented 6 very interesting projects and their use case implementations. We have showcased cycling infrastructure, city logistics booster, environmental data monitoring, plus EVs charging, traffic management, and public transport solutions. So very diverse projects, but with something in common, that they have the potential to make cities healthier, greener, and societies more cohesive, and communities, of course. Of course, we understand the challenges. Changing mobility patterns is complex, but it's needed, and we need to address poor air quality in cities, traffic noise, and lack of access to mobility. I mean, it's an issue for all of us, and we must change this. The good thing is that there are solutions, and there are a lot of them. So we only presented 6 of hundreds of private sector initiatives that help cities achieve their sustainable mobility plans, and that will help us as a whole achieving the 2030 and 2050 carbon reduction targets. So these solutions have been delivered all over Europe, from Portugal to Finland. So innovation is present, it's scalable, it's out there, and it's ready to be delivered to cities. I think this is the main message and the main takeaway, that there are solutions that have had very positive impacts and that they're ready to be replicated. So let's do it.
Thank you so much, Rafael. And so now, Georg, I have the pleasure of leaving you the floor for our last remark. As you see, a lot of discussion, a lot of answers being provided, a lot of questions remaining, a lot of activities still to be carried out. What's next?
What's next? That's a very fair and good question. Well, first of all, I'd like listening to the summaries. I'd say we had a quite nice and meaningful kickstart of the matchmaking year 2023.
I understand. So that is already something which I find remarkable and extremely positive. We had like 170 people registered to the event. We had 60 meetings booked on the online platform, which is also a level, to be very honest, which I didn't expect. So I'm very positively surprised. And for me, it can continue like this. Then listening to what you said, I mean, what's next? The next step, to say it very pragmatically, is to bring all that to the ground, to realize all that. The ideas we heard today, they should, well, they should be matched with finance, as simple as that. So that's why we are here. That's the core ambition of the marketplace, to complement European funding, but also financing efforts with our services, and to bring innovation, tested solutions, sustainable solutions to small and mid-sized cities, essentially. So next steps, maybe I can give one insight. You mentioned the climate city contracts, Luigi, viable cities. Well, indeed, viable cities was a bit of a model, if you want, which was then also, I wouldn't say copied, but inspired quite lots of the mission on climate neutral and smart cities. So there is, of course, some evidence that if local plans are created in a way that they integrate the various different parts of the journey, then they can also make for preparations for the financing stage. And I believe this is pretty much what we aim for. We want to help cities to follow this integrated planning and implementation journey, and then possibly replicate that, scale this up, and so on. Going from neighborhood to district to city level, and therefore step by step achieving the very goal of the EU Green Deal, that is becoming climate neutral by 2050. So I said it already in the past at several occasions, every little step counts, and every little thing which we can implement and bring to the market is a brick in the solid wall of climate neutrality, if I may say so. Whereas this image is maybe not the best one in this case, but let's say, listening to what you said, and then also looking ahead, there's another cornerstone possibly this year, which will be Barcelona, where we could possibly bring all this together again and showcase what we have achieved in this year. But there will be, of course, future matchmaking events. Georg mentioned rightly the financing masterclasses. There will be a wiki pretty soon. So let's say there's a lot we can look forward to, and this first matchmaking event this year, raises quite some expectations, some positive ones, of course. So yeah, I would like to thank everyone who participated, who attended this first matchmaking event, and also would like to thank all the speakers for the insights. I would like to thank the companies. A little bird told me that there were 6 projects and companies which actually shared their availability, opportunities to people taking part in this matchmaking event. So yeah, big thanks from my end. Looking forward to see more of this. And yeah, stay tuned and ask questions. I guess all people you see in this chat, but even more people behind the scenes of the Smart Cities Marketplace team are very keen and ready to help you with your questions and plans and projects. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Georg, and thank you all of you for today. Just a bit of a reminder that for another hour at least, you can still keep working on the platform, networking. So I strongly encourage you to just don't leave any loose ends and stay on top of all the contacts you have found. For whatever you need, you find on the website everything about how to contact us, what we are doing, what's coming next, but also use, let's say, the contact form you find to ask questions. and also give suggestions. So we're very flexible, accessible. So we will find shortly a moment to talk to all of you and get back to you with all your questions. Thank you again for your interest. For us, this is the beginning. So we look forward to cooperating with you in the next step of this long journey. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.